Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 8th of March. So it's non-farm payrolls today, so we've managed to get through the week, only to get to the point of non-farm payrolls. So this morning we're really waiting. I'll be waiting to see what the outcome of that news is. We're seeing the Eurozone. We saw rates left alone. Largely it was a game of two halves with Lagarde in terms of what she said. We had the first half of it was suggesting that rates would drop anytime soon, and then we sort of the second half was a bit more hawkish and saw the euro bouncing the opposite way. So and then this morning we've seen again a speaker suggesting we'll see the first cut in the spring, which apparently the spring is running from May to June. So one of those months that it still looks like June is the month from the analysis I've seen. Anyway, right, let's get on and look at these markets then. We're looking at the euro dollar here, daily wise. Good move up, another good move up yesterday, breaking through its yearly pivot there, looking a bit more positive now as it's up there. However, having done that, it was a good old move. There was the sort of initial sell-off. It's pushed up there. Actually, that sell-off came a bit earlier. Perhaps it didn't actually. I'm just looking. Anyway, it's looking half decent. Shouldn't get too downhearted on this euro. Yes, it's having a bit of a retrace at the moment, and it is the weakest this morning at the moment, but it's got a pivot underneath there which might provide support. Yes, we've got a speaker at the moment that's a bit of a dovish type speaker anyway, but always a bit on the weaker side of things. So we're getting what we might expect in a sense. Anyway, we'll see what happens this morning. Of course, I'm limited in terms of timing before the non-farm payrolls. I'll be watching this carefully in terms of any trade really. If I'm taking it this morning, I'd rather be out of it before the news. So we'll see what happens. The pound dollar, we're up to double top territory here. Good solid move for the pound yesterday. Eventually it's sort of pushing through there in the afternoon. It really has had a decent week this week. Very good move yesterday, right up to its R2 and actually slightly beyond there. Again, we could see it coming off here to the daily pivot. There is a good probability of the pivot being hit, around about 75% chance being hit. So we'll see if that occurs. If it does, well, I'll be looking at potential reversals at that point because the trend is good. The support from the pivot's often very good as well. We'll see how things shape up. But we're seeing this, like the euro and everything selling at the moment. Things change very quickly post 8 o'clock, so just be careful in terms of the big trend is still very much the upside in both those currencies anyway. The dollar yen, well, the yen is still seeing the selling coming through here, based on the apparently against according to analysts, this is due to the discussions of moving away from being a negative interest rate. That doesn't mean to say they'll be continuing to raise interest rates through the year or anything. It just means they'll be moving away from the negative interest rate. Anyway, we've seen some reaction. How much more reaction? Well, we'll have to wait and see. It certainly looks softish. It was looking a lot softer a short while ago. This bar was looking red, and it was all looking like, well, we might see a continuation. Trouble is now it's in a bit of a range, and it may be a bit more difficult to trade out of. Okay, that's the yen. Aussie dollar has been pushing up nicely. We've seen this continuation. We saw continuation yesterday from Tuesday. Wednesday even. Pushing up a lot more solid now. We've got the confirmed higher low through here, and it looks like it's properly changing direction. It just didn't have the legs to run off here previously. It obviously pulled back here. We're now at that previous shoulder and broken the previous shoulder, so what was probably a head and shouldery pattern there has fouled, and we're sort of, some people argue there's an inverted head and shouldery pattern kicking through there. Anyway, at the moment, probably oversold on a lot of indicators here on these higher time frames. So be wary. This could switch back a little bit. But Powell's statements to the Congress, etc., the different monetary policy committees or whatever, they're being quite soft, dovish. So we might see some more. US dollar CAD. The CAD's broken down here. Yesterday it broke down some more. Just continue to strengthen here at the moment against the US dollar. It's right back to its quarterly pivot at the moment in terms of support. We'll see how well that holds up. Could see a reversal. It's now switching, starting to switch from sort of what was a bullish move into a more bearish move. So we've got to be a bit careful with this. Maybe a retrace into the pivot would be a good thing, but we could even play it up to the pivot potentially, but we'll see how things shape up. New Zealand dollar, they're continuing to push up very much like the Aussie here, just underneath its pivot still, its yearly pivot. Broken back through its quarterly now though. Double bottomed there into earlier in the week. They were just looking, this is 4 hourly, so yesterday just really got the rippers on, and it was already pushing up quite strongly when we looked at it in the morning there, and it did actually get a good continuation. So currently it seems pretty much all change. Now we've got these non-farms coming out later. We could see it all change again, but we'll have to wait and see. US dollar Swissy, we're sitting bang on the monthly pivot, pretty much bang on the monthly pivot where it is at the moment. It's still quite ugly. It has put lower highs in here, so there is some signs of weakness running through here. We could see it turn back and break down here. We've got plenty of areas of support. The yearly pivot is not far below where we are if this one fails, so you just got to be careful with the support there. It's quite lean on the movements, but again, non-farms could completely blow that one way or the other. We see some pretty I don't know if this was a non-farm, that was a Thursday, it wasn't a non-farm, that was another ECB meeting, but you're seeing some quite solid old movements here. Euro yen, yesterday the euro has recovered, as I said later in the speech during the press conference there, as they wouldn't be held to dates or anything like this. It's put lower highs in here. To me, it could be over this movement. I see the upward side being over. We could be seeing a break. Just this yen aspect or part of the pairing here, just like the dollar yen, it's gone into a bit of an ugly range. Okay, EuroCAD still sitting in this he says, and it was very much a just yesterday there with that retracement back, came back to its quarterly pivot here. There we go. My stop was literally a few pips below that. It's not looking particularly great any longer. Might make a decision whether just to get out of it before the news. Sometimes the news goes so well for us, but it really isn't shaping up as the original plan there. It had been moving quite nicely, but it does seem to be rolling over. Quite often I use a bit of a Heikin-Ashi with a pattern with looking at the Donchian channels below. Well, that would have been kicked out yesterday effectively. If I'd used a Donchian channel, it'd have been probably stopped on that anyway. So I'll make a decision on that today at some point before the news probably. We'll see how things go. Okay, that's it for now on YouTube. Let's just run through into gold. So gold continuing its push to the upside there, not so much today. Yesterday it slowed down, so the momentum you can see is coming out. The bars are getting shorter. Momentum slowing up on this. Now it's into its all-time highs. rolling around a little bit. I'm not particularly bearish on it. I wouldn't be looking to take shorts on this. It's still in a solid old place. Yeah, uh, the why it's gone quite like the way it is, I'm not sure that the people's analysis of it is quite right. It's just the fact that the crowd have joined in. Anyway, for now, oil, no trades on this for me for now, as it remains. The why it's chopping like this, I really don't want to be trying to trade it in the afternoons. The S&Ps up a fraction this morning, another new high yesterday, and the continuation. They're liking what Powell's saying, and the fact that the interest rates might come quicker, and we're just seeing this continued shove up here. As I've said, as much as some people might think, well, I'll take a short on some of these movements, it is very much upside risk basically. So I would only look for opportunities on the buy side, and they're a bit thin sometimes. Some of them catch us a little. They're a bit more obvious after the event, but anyway, right. That's pretty much it. The DAX, for anyone that's trading this morning, is still positive. Yesterday pushed up there, come off a bit this morning so far. All things can change pretty quickly here, so it's unusual for you. Yep. Anyway, this is coming down back with the euro at the same time here at the moment, but we could see this turn post 8 o'clock quick enough, so be careful on that. Again, I wouldn't be looking to be a seller on that. The FTSE remains quite a mess here. I mean, you've got sort of green bar next to green bar here, with nothing particularly. I mean, you see the gap that was put in it. There's the gap that was filled. It's quite messy here. Okay, as I said, be really careful with the non-farms. They're a high risk to the markets, and they can have a knock-on effect across. So that's at 1:30 today. I wish you a great day's trading. Catch you later. Bye for now. There we go. That's got rid of those